What if everything you thought about Jujutsu Kaisen was about to change? What if Gojo Satoru never died and the story took a completely different path? Because the truth is, Gojo's death wasn't just shocking, it was necessary. But what if it never happened? What if Gojo survived his fight against Sukuna? Today, we're breaking down an alternate timeline that doesn't just change the ending, it changes the entire meaning of power in Jujutsu Kaisen. And honestly, it might be darker than the original story itself. Gojo versus Sukuna. The strongest sorcerer in history versus the strongest curse user ever. In the original timeline, Sukuna adapts, evolves, and breaks through infinity. But in this version, Gojo sees it coming. He reads Sukuna perfectly. The killing blow misses, and Gojo responds instantly. A full-powered hollow purple, perfectly controlled. Not desperate, not chaotic. Calculated? For the first time, Sukuna is forced back. Not defeated, but damaged in a way that changes everything. The battlefield doesn't just go silent, it freezes. Even the strongest sorcerers watching from afar can't process what they just saw. Because for the first time in history, Sukuna isn't smiling, he's thinking. And that alone changes everything. Because a calculating Sukuna is far more dangerous than a confident one. If Gojo survives, the entire balance of the world shifts. Curses don't act freely anymore. Villains hesitate. Entire plans collapse before they begin. Because Gojo Satoru existing means one thing. There is no safe future for evil. Even Sukuna changes. No more playing with his opponents. No more overwhelming destruction just for fun. Now, he studies. He adapts. He evolves with purpose. Because for the first time, he cannot afford to lose. But something deeper starts forming. Gojo begins to realize something dangerous. Strength alone won't be enough forever, because Sukuna is learning too fast. And that's where Yuji Itadori comes in. But this time, Gojo doesn't just see Yuji as a vessel. He sees him as something else entirely. A bridge between humanity and curses. So Gojo trains him differently. Not just physically, not just to control Sukuna, but to understand him, to think like him, to see the world the way Sukuna does. At first, nothing seems different. Yuji gets stronger, faster, more precise. But then, small changes begin. Tiny details that shouldn't matter start becoming impossible to ignore. Yuji begins reacting before attacks even happen. He predicts movements that no normal sorcerer should be able to see. Sometimes, he pauses mid-fight. Not frozen, but listening. Like there's another voice inside his head. And slowly, that voice stops feeling like an enemy. It starts feeling familiar. Memories begin bleeding through. Not just images, but emotions. Rage, pride, hunger, control.
What a pathetic
Yuji
domain.
Isn't just containing Sukuna anymore.
Ready to
He's
switch?
understanding him. And that understanding comes with a cost. Because the more you understand something like Sukuna, the less human you remain. Even Gojo notices it. The way Yuji speaks sometimes. The calmness in situations where fear should exist. The way his presence starts to feel heavier. And for the first time, Gojo hesitates. Not because Yuji is weak, but because he might be becoming something irreversible. Gojo never explains it fully, but deep down, he knows where this path leads. Not control, not suppression, something else. Something far more dangerous. Meanwhile, Sukuna is evolving too. Every fight becomes data. Every failure becomes a lesson. He stops relying on brute force. He starts understanding the rules of cursed energy itself. And eventually, he finds it. A way to bypass infinity permanently. Not by overpowering it, but by rewriting how space interacts with cursed energy. A perfect counter. A guaranteed kill. And once Sukuna understands that, The final battle becomes inevitable. Gojo versus Sukuna. Again. But this time, there are no surprises. No underestimating. No hesitation. Just pure intent. The moment they clash, everything around them begins to collapse. Buildings crumble. The ground splits apart. Even the air feels unstable. Gojo pushes infinity beyond anything we've ever seen. Sukuna responds with something entirely new. Techniques that don't just attack, but rewrite the space around them. This isn't a fight anymore. It's a battle of understanding reality itself. Every second feels heavier than the last. Every move carries meaning. Gojo isn't just fighting to win. He's fighting to prove that humanity can still stand at the top. And Sukuna, he's fighting to prove that evolution will always surpass limits. And then, it happens. Sukuna activates his final move. For the first time, infinity breaks. Gojo is exposed. For the first time, he can be touched. Sukuna steps forward, one step away from ending everything. But then, something interrupts him. Yuji Itadori. But something is different. There's no panic in his eyes, no hesitation, no fear, just clarity. Like he already knows what he has to do. He steps forward, and the moment freezes. Cursed energy doesn't explode outward. It pulls inward, compressing, stabilizing, balancing. Yuji doesn't fight Sukuna this time. He doesn't suppress him. He accepts him, not as an enemy, but as a part of himself. And in that moment, everything changes. The conflict inside him disappears. Not because Sukuna is gone, but because he is no longer separate. Two minds forced into alignment. Memories overlap. Instincts merge. Power stabilizes. Sukuna loses something in that moment. His freedom. His independence. His ability to exist as a separate king. But he gains something too. A human perspective. Emotion. Limits. And that makes him unpredictable in a completely new way. The battle ends. Not with a death, but with a transformation. Gojo stands there, alive. But for the first time, uncertain. Because the threat in front of him isn't Sukuna anymore, and it isn't Yuji either. It's something new. Something neither of them fully understands. The world doesn't become peaceful. It becomes unstable. Because now, every decision Yuji makes carries two perspectives. Every emotion is shared. Every moment is a struggle for balance. And if that balance breaks, there may be no one left who can stop him. Not even Gojo. And that's when Gojo realizes the truth. He didn't save the world. He changed the form of its destruction. So now the real question is, if Gojo Satoru never died, did he actually protect the future? Or did he create something far more dangerous than Sukuna ever was? And more importantly, is Yuji still human? Or the beginning of something the world has never seen before? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more dark anime what-if stories, theories, and alternate timelines like this, make sure you subscribe and join the early gang.